Hello, my name is Jennifer Park, and today I'll be discussing an important figure in the lesser-known history, Stephen Douglas. During Week 5A, we briefly learned in class from Kennedy's readings about Stephen Douglas as being one key figure who played a direct role in the gradual equality of enslaved populations by vouching for popular sovereignty. Stephen Douglas was born on April 23, 1813, in Vermont, where he studied law at Canandaigua, New York, before deciding to move to Illinois in 1833, where he first became involved in politics. As an admirer of the former Andrew Jackson, it was with these ideals that he built upon his career by being a part of the Democratic Party in Illinois, nominating conventions and pushing for party regularity and discipline, introducing new devices as a part of the party committee, as well as establishing a tightly knit Democratic organization by the means of building popularity among small farmers. This is supported by Douglas's zeal for popular democracy, shaped in early age by the towering figure of Andrew Jackson, found meeting in the hearts of the people, an expression where its effect was most purposeful on the local level, Johansson 7. In 1837, he ran and lost in the election for Congress, and in 1844, he was elected to the House of Representatives, where he served 2 terms. He also chaired the Senate Committee on Territories, where he published one of his first legislative proposals, of which contained a program that included the construction of Pacific Railroad, a homestead policy, the organization of territorial governments, and territorial expansion. This is supported by Douglas's motives in hastening the organization of Kansas and Nebraska are not always easy to fathom. His goal of a Pacific Railroad and his desire, with one eye on the presidency, to appease the pro-slavery politics like David Atchison tell only part of his story, Wells 30. He continued to advance his career by being elected as U.S. Senator in 1847, up and held the position until his death in 1861. Although not as well known, Stephen Douglas was a significant figure in United States history as he was a leader of the Democratic Party, a U.S. politician, as well as orator who supported the idea of popular sovereignty in relation to the issue of slavery in the territories before the American Civil War. When slavery became a huge political issue during the Mexican War, Douglas argued for the doctrine of popular sovereignty, or the right of the people or of a state or territory to decide the question of slavery for themselves, Wells 30. He chaired the Senate Committee on Territories, as well as was the author of the Compromise of 1850, of which provided the popular sovereignty rather than the Missouri Compromise, which determined the status of slavery in those regions and was later incorporated into the Kansas-Nebraska Act, thus repealing the Missouri Compromise of 1820, Douglas 10. When faced with opposition, he reminded them that the law of 1850 was substantially a reenactment of that of 1793, passed by the Revolutionary Fathers, the founders of the Constitution, and approved by President Washington. He did not argue, but assumed the justice of the old law, nor did he allude to the increased ardor of pursuit of fleeing slaves since their increase in value. He rested his case on the close resemblance of the letter of the new law to that of the old. He told them that the duty of returning fugitive slaves was created not by this law but by the Constitution, and that the real question was not as to the existence of the duty, but which law performed it most justly and efficiently, Gardner 47. His hopes for the country were later faced with opposition from northern anti-slavery elements who eventually formed the Republican Party. However, his fight for popular sovereignty didn't end there. During the 1850s, his famous debates with Abraham Lincoln took rise when he blamed the agitation over slavery on abolitionists in the North and disunionists in the South, attempting to find a middle way that would preserve the Union. He believed that slavery must be treated impartially in reference to public policy, although he privately thought it was wrong and hoped it would be eliminated someday. He also screamed to reconcile his cherished principle of popular sovereignty with the Supreme Court in 1857 Dred Scott decision. Throughout my research, I was able to learn more about Douglas's upbringings, his values, and how they played a role in the gradual equality of enslaved populations with my research of Douglas's accomplishments relating to the broader histories we have studied, such as the abolitionist movement, the American Civil War, the Missouri Compromise of 1820, the Kansas-Nebraska Act, the Compromise of 1850. In summary, the story of Stephen Douglas is significant in that he, among many other important figures, facilitated the anti-slavery movement towards the now renowned equality we have today. Thank you.